addicted to you. All of my attention I've been giving to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. On my mind, I can't lie. On my mind, I can't lie. Pull you down till you dry. Pull you down till you dry. All the time, ease my mind. All the time, ease my mind. I know that you're dangerous, I'm addicted to you. I might rent the Lambo and go drive it like it's stolen. I've been living wild, I'm just going through the motions. Stumbling out the Uber, grab my hand, gave me the notion. Swimming in your water, but it feels just like the ocean. I can't lie, I've really been addicted to you. All of my attention I've been giving to you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. Caught up in my feelings, I got feelings for you. On my mind, I can't lie. On my mind, I can't lie. Pull you down till you dry. Pull you down till you dry. All the time, ease my mind. All the time, ease my mind. I know that you're dangerous, I'm addicted to you. I was sipping more for 2 years straight to the face. Champagne belly bubble still won't go away. Last year my best man hit a stain with bad.
Hey, what's good, everybody? I want to thank you for joining us for episode number 6 of This, That, and the Third podcast with Shannon, Bam, and Hook. Bam's on CP time, so he should be joining us here shortly. So if he just magically appears on the screen, you know, that's been part of the plan. So today we will be discussing who is responsible for the WNBA's rise in popularity. We were kind of talking about it backstage, but this is probably the first time in a long time where the WNBA is taking center stage, smack dab in the middle of the NBA playoffs. And I mean, it's probably overshadowed a lot of the things that's been going on in the NBA. It's like every single day I know I'm partially guilty of it. So I know that I post a lot about the WNBA, and honestly, I'm locked in, man. Like it's I posted earlier that I love the brand of basketball they play. They play defense. They involve the bigs down low, and they're not scoring 175 points every game. So I mean, I love it, and it's great, man. I'm looking forward to where it's going to go. And we have a panel here that's going to help us with the conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and give them an opportunity to introduce themselves, tell them how you are. As always here at This, That, and the Third, ladies are first. So Sakura, go ahead and take it away.
Hi. First of all, thanks for having me. My name is Sakura. I am the new host of Beyond the Bench Sports. That is my new podcast, me and my bestie, Jasmine. We will be talking about everything that you can think about in reference to sports. We also have a cocktail segment that we hope you guys will enjoy. So that'll be coming up soon. So I will link you guys in on that. But I'm from South Carolina, currently live in the DC, Maryland area. Really excited to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Good stuff. Marcus, what you got?
Thank you for having me, Daryl. I'm a fan of the show. I've seen you do a couple renditions of it, so I'm a big fan of that. I run a podcast myself, the Front Office Podcast. It's on YouTube, Facebook. I'm excited to discuss this particular topic with a group of people. I normally do my podcast by myself, so let's get to it.
All right, sounds good. All right, David, what you got, brother?
Hello, all. I'm David Walker. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, good. I'm David Walker. I'm a columnist for theaugustan.com, and I live in Augusta, Georgia. I've been here for about 20 years, 20-some-odd years. Yeah, it's been a long time, and I'm excited. Me and Hook go back probably not as long as some other people, but what has it been about? Man, it might be about 20 years. Might be
It's
about
been
20
about
years.
that.
Yeah, it's been about 20 years. Yeah, it's been about 20 years. So I was excited to get the invite. We go back and forth on Facebook, but I know him, so it's all good. It's all love. And I'm happy. I'm happy that we can have this discussion. It's great. Happy for your podcast, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Appreciate you. And to David's point, I say a lot of shit on Facebook. Now, the beauty of social media, you never know if people are serious or if they're being sarcastic. So you never really know with me. So a lot of the things I post, sometimes I post up just to start up a conversation, and then sometimes it's stuff I'm really passionate about. But I'm gonna leave it up to the viewers and the audience to really filter through exactly what's true and what's bullshit. All right. So yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started, man. So I want to establish a little bit of context though, right? So prior to this WNBA season, how much women's basketball, and when I say women's basketball, I'm talking pro and collegiately. So how much women's basketball prior to this WNBA season that we're currently in have you watched? And feel free to get in where you fit in.
I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and just say I didn't watch any. I'm not going to lie.
That's
The
fair.
WNBA, the women's basketball, it wasn't something that interests me at all. But watching Don Staley and that crew come up and what they did last year, and even in prior years, it got me excited. So like this year, I made sure I watched March Madness, the girls, just to see what was going to happen, right? Because I wanted them to go all the way. So.
Okay.
I've been watching basketball. I'm a basketball player, so I've been watching basketball since I was in high school. And I went to school, and I've been watching the WNBA since its inaugural season in 97, 98. And I watched the finals when the Comets won. I actually grew up overseas. So Team USA, Dawn Stanley, Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo, they all came to Germany, and I watched them play. So I've been involved in basketball. Wherever there's basketball, I've been watching it. So it's been a long time.
So
Okay.
for me, I have been watching basketball since I've been a little girl. Men's and women's. I mean, I started off obviously on the men's side as an Allen Iverson fan, but I quickly and like very swiftly became like a Lisa Leslie fan because she was extremely popular in like the 90s. So I had the luxury of seeing like Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, and Tamika Catchings and Sylvia Fowles, people like that. And people often don't mention those names when we talk about WNBA, but when we talk about how long I've been watching it, that is how long I have been watching it. It's been a while. College as well. I used to follow the Gamecocks like when I was younger. It was we were not selling tickets, you guys. We used to give out tickets at the Carolina, used to be the Carolina Coliseum, and then it became Colonial Life. And we used to give out free tickets because we could not fill an arena for anything. And then Coach Staley came, and that's when, we pretty much blew up.
I'm a basketball junkie, so I've been watching women's basketball, men's basketball, high school, college, whatever it is. I still go to high school games and watch basketball. So I try to be pretty knowledgeable. As far as the WNBA, I'm kind of with you, Hook, on that. I can't say I've been locked in like I've been locked in this season. Like while we doing this podcast, I'm literally watching the Seattle Storm play the Dallas Sky. You know what I mean? Like just because it's that interesting now. But I know the players. But this year and last year, I would say it's been a big jump for me, just because of the excitement of the new talent that's coming. Honestly.
Yeah, pretty much the same here. Because I think anybody that knows me knows that my favorite sport is football. That kind of goes without saying. But second favorite sport is basketball. Now, I'm a Chicago Bulls fan, so so obviously when it comes to being competitive and being locked in during playoff time, I'm normally at home on the couch. So it's really not, so I don't have a dog in the fight. So I'm not really locked in because my team ain't really playing. So it's, I normally watch for, players or, if it's, a really good matchup or whatnot. But so I guess basketball for me is more so casual. But just as with all of you pretty much said, like when in the WNBA's inaugural season, like the first few years, I was logged in then. Like I watched the Human Comets Dynasty, watching, what I'm saying? Like my favorite player was Swing Cash. She was one of my favorite basketball players. I watched her at UConn. And then and granted she was cute, so that was part of the reason I followed her. But even with that, like every game she played, I was logged in. I had to watch Swing Cash, but then it fell off. Like I don't know where it was. Like I don't even know why, but like I didn't make it a priority to really watch. So I kind of just fell off a little bit. Sakura, I saw you raising your hand. You had something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I can tell you why it fell off. The globalization of the NBA is why it fell off. At that particular time, Michael Jordan was killing everybody. I mean, the Bulls were killing everybody. They wanted to capitalize off that. David Stern was supposed to reinvest money into the WNBA to actually help expand the league. And he ended up taking that money, that funding, and along with the ownership, obviously, and they invested in globalization, which was a smart move. It was a very smart move. However, I think that also kind of killed a portion of the WNBA's growth as far as a game stateside. Now, worldwide, I believe that it definitely, our players go overseas and they play very well, but here it didn't really register as well because we just were not considered marketable at the time. So that's why it fell off. And also, you have to spend money to make money. So they weren't spending the money, they weren't making the money. So it showed.
Like, I don't know if you're psychic or what, but that's the perfect segue because that's exactly the question I was going to ask next. Because I was going to ask like, what, like, why do you think WNBA's popularity fell off? And I think you so eloquently just told us pretty much why your perspective of why you think that happened. Now, do you guys agree with what she said, or is there anything you want to add to why the WNBA pretty much fell into limbo after the early years?
I don't disagree at all. I think she's actually 100% accurate in the facts, but I would like to add, and I think this is what's causing it a hot topic, is it wasn't an attractive product. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, because like she said, like if you're going and you're watching Michael Jordan, even as a woman, if you're watching Michael Jordan play basketball, you can't be as excited as women playing below the rim. You know what I'm saying? Like the athletic portion of it. And I think it had to grow. You know what I mean? Like it had to grow, and you had to start seeing, like, I think your host said it. She wasn't really following until you saw Dawn Staley, you know what I mean, at USC, and really dominating and making headlines and seeing that women play just as hard. They can be just as disciplined. And, it's something to really follow, like be fans of. Like, I know who Lisa Leslie is. You know what I'm saying? I know who Rebecca Lobo is. I know who all of them are. But none of them had that, I want to say, it wasn't that they're not as good as these players now, but they didn't have the social media portion. I think social media is a huge part of all of this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't know who Caitlin Clark was if it wasn't for social media. I'm just being 100. I don't watch Iowa basketball. I don't know who she is. But when you see those little clips and reels on Instagram, you're like, damn, she can shoot the ball. Who is this? And it's
White Steph Curry.
Yes, it's a mirror image of what the NBA is doing now, and I think that really helped. I also think Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks, just women's college basketball in general, is better than men's basketball, and I think that's why you see the rise on the college.
That's what I was thinking. That was going to be my kind of thought about this. Just the popularity of women's college basketball has created the excitement for the WNBA. Watching these players come out of college, being as good as they are, as dominant as they are, to the point where I was having a conversation with my son. I was saying, these girls can beat any of these boys' teams. Like, I don't even doubt it for a second. And watching them come out of college basketball and going to the WNBA has me excited. Like, I was in Minnesota one time for a work trip, and it was WNBA All-Star Weekend. I had no freaking idea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm in a hotel walking around. I ran into Aja Wilson in the lobby and her dad. I'm like, what y'all doing here? Like, I
Oh God.
I'm just saying, but now I'm excited. Like, I want to see a game. Like, I haven't watched a game yet. I keep trying to find them on TV, and it's been kind of difficult. So that's an issue too. But I want to watch. I'm excited to watch. When somebody say you should watch a game, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out. Whereas before, I was like, yeah, I ain't watching that. It ain't the Cowboys. I ain't got time.
You wasting your time watching the Cowboys too, but hey, we're gonna leave that right there.
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another day, though. And David, what about you? So, what do you think? Why do you think the WNBA's popularity fell off from the early years?
Well, I'd like to pick up on a point that someone else made about social media, because I've heard that before, and I think social media certainly helps to exponentially grow things because things go viral. But I think people forget that one of the highest viewed games was Magic versus Bird when they were in college, and there was no internet back then, and there was no social media. Michael Jordan's rise was before social media, so I think the product, and yes, investment has a big part to do with it, but I hear a lot of people say investment and social media, but people who invest and don't want to lose their money. So a product has to have something. There has to be a buzz. I remember, everybody here I think is old enough to remember Master P and how he sold CDs out of his trunk because he didn't like the record deals that he was getting offered. And then he built a buzz, and then he got the deals that he got where he had more leverage. So I think that WNBA has the benefit of history, and they're not utilizing it. They're not leveraging it because they have all the stories. They have the Magic versus Bird, which I think is a very close mirror image to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. As much as we may think we're past that, black and white still sells. And it's the same thing with Floyd Mayweather when he fights a black guy, like I think his name was Berto. He fought, didn't get as many views as when he fought Pacquiao, he fought Pacquiao later, but didn't get as many views as when he fought Canelo.
Patches already?
Because what's that?
Do y'all remove the patches already?
No.
Oh yeah, we did.
I'm not sure.
We did.
I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I'm sorry. So I got even though I got these big things in my ear.
I thought she was asking me.
I know, right?
No. I was like, okay, I don't. Well, I'm at soccer. My daughter plays soccer, so I'm at soccer practice, and one of the moms was asking me about the patches because she's made it to a higher level league. I'm not trying to brag, but I am trying to brag.
They call that a shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
See?
Next day we're gonna love women's soccer. We're gonna be at
No, I love women's soccer.
Which we do.
I love women's soccer. I follow women's soccer. It's exploding too. But I think the women's in WNBA has the benefit of social media and history, and they should just take cues. And I hope we get into that. Is how the NBA made decisions to advance the sport, and they put that above other aspects. Like I hope we get into, and all of y'all are old enough to remember when they had a dress code, where they didn't like the image of the league, and they made the players dress up just to show up to work.
Yeah.
Right.
So imagine if we told these ladies today, hey, we gotta have a dress code. We're trying to project a certain image. Well, I mean, the NBA is 75 years old. The WNBA is 28 years old. This is about the time where things started to explode. So, I hope we get into all that. But that was a long-winded answer. But that's where I'm. That's where I'm at.
I have a question about just talking about the investment. I mean, we're talking about when Michael Jordan played. That was 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So what's been the issue since then?
Right now, as it stands, the NBA owns half of the WNBA. The other half is owned by the ownership. The total output or allocation of funding through the collective bargaining agreement for the NBA is $15 million a year. For the owners, it is $17.7 million a year. So collectively, they're only getting about $22.7 million a year for marketing, salaries, for operations. And when we speak on that, we wonder why they only have 12 teams. And we speak about the WNBA in the sense of, well, you got to get the viewership, you got to get this, that, and the third. But for the past years, for the past 3 years, the WNBA has been trending upward in viewership and marketability. And when we talk about that, I mean, like, this is where I said it's really hard for you to make money when you don't spend money.
Mhm.
And the reason why Caitlin Clark is such a big ordeal for a lot of people is because they see her as a marketing factor to middle Americans who are white, who have never watched the sport before. It's not catering to the little black girls who have watched the sport previous, but I think my thing is that now they're catering more so to middle-aged white men who basically otherwise would have never watched the sport if a white girl wasn't a sharpshooter and actually didn't create a certain type of buzz with beating an all-time scoring record as an NCAA player. Um, but then you forget that there are players like Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu who have, competed for championships and won championships in the NCAA. Breanna Stewart, four-time NCAA champion. You would imagine that you would be listening to somebody like that who's going to bring people to your league, and in our reality, they have not. So I think the thing is like, where do you draw the line? Because the new CBA doesn't come into effect until 2026. By then, they will have Golden State and they'll have Toronto, which will be an issue because now you have two more teams and you don't have a collective bargaining agreement that reflects the two new teams that you are expanding to. So now you have two more rosters, you have 24 spots, and you still have a salary issue. You still have a traveling issue. You still have an operations issue in general. And so for them, the issue is like, do I feel like the players should go on strike now that they're getting all this notoriety? Maybe. Do I feel like a new collective bargaining agreement needs to be done prior to these two new teams coming into effect? I do, because I feel like you're going to need not just these two teams, you're going to need to expand to at least six. And most people don't believe that, but they say expansion too early is maybe a problem, but it's not when you look at how the trajectory of women's college basketball is.
Mhm.
The national title game peaked at 24 million viewers. 24 million, the national title game. And then when you're talking about it translating over to WNBA, well, you have a Caitlin Clark because, like I said, middle-aged white men are buying these tickets now.
Mhm.
I want to
Middle-
pick up on that. She's making a lot of points, and I want to jump in on some of those points.
Go right ahead.
Because the excuse me, I thank you. The racial point is interesting because I've heard that a lot too. And when she made a beautiful point that I agree with. Now the WNBA is trying to market toward middle-aged white people. Another term for that is the majority of the population. So if we feel some kind of way about that, then we're not understanding the numbers. We're not understanding math. Because if you want to have a developing, growing, thriving business, they are 60% of the population. Certainly you want to market to them. I mean, that's how you get paid. When you look up in the stands at a game, there's a game when the Timberwolves were playing, when Ant Edwards was playing, and he won game 7. There's a photo of him. Well, he didn't win game 7. The Wolves beat Denver in game 7. There's a photo of him looking at the audience, and it's a sea of white people.
Yep.
and of course he's talking trash. It's a sea of white people. So that's how it works. So that's why I say the WNBA has the benefit of history. They have the code. They're giving you the cheat code. All you have to do is copy what they did, exactly how they did it. So yes, if we feel some kind of way, and I'm not telling people how to feel, but if we feel some kind of way about the WNBA not promoting like Arike Ngumbuale, I hope I say her last name correctly. She's playing right now. She plays for the Dallas Wings, and she's second leading scorer in the league. Second leading scorer. She also is not on the Team USA, but we'll get to that. But second leading scorer in the league behind Asia Wilson, who is amazing. But if we're going to feel some kind of way about people not marketing Asia Wilson more than Caitlin Clark, well, we don't understand math. We're 13% of the population. So we've got to get, we're fortunate that we had stars like Michael Jordan in the the NBA. But before Michael Jordan was Larry Bird, and before Larry Bird, you had Jerry West, you had Kevin McHale, you had lots of, after that you had Christian Laettner. After that, you had them. So there's always going to be that, because marketing is just identity politics, and that's one thing I wish we would get past. Is that's just the way it is. If you want to be a billionaire in this country, if you want to have a multi-billion-dollar franchise, you're going to have to market to middle-aged white men, because there's a lot of them. We're not in Morocco. We're not in Nigeria. we're in America. We're 13%.
Right.
So that's just the way it is. And sometimes that works in our favor. It worked in our favor when you have, like, the only reason I watch tennis is because of the Serena and Venus. That's the only reason. The only reason I watch right now is because of Sloane. It's because of Coco. Naomi Osaka. That's the only reason I'm watching, and I have no shame about that. None whatsoever. Matter of fact, they're still trotting Tiger out on the PGA Tour, and he can't even play. He's barely qualifying, but they still trot him out because he's marketable, and that's the only reason why I'm watching. So I think we need to. We're talking about, when we start talking about business, we can't keep marrying the conversation between a performance. Yes, Brianna is way better than Caitlin Clark. Yes, Asia is way better than Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese is a phenomenal player, but who's hot is who's hot. Eminem sold more than 50. We know why. we know why. He's a dope rapper, but also because way more people can identify with him. And that's just the name of the game. So 50 didn't get mad about it. He said, that's my artist. I get 20% or whatever the cut is, and just ride the wave. So I hope if we're going to talk business and numbers, and we're going to talk about the viewership, I hope we talk about profit. I hope we talk about people that show up at the game. The national game and the championship game are one thing. That's not where owners make their money. They make money in the regular season. So if you've got, like the situation with Las Vegas Aces, where your average attendance is 8,000, 9,000, and sometimes 10,000. I think it's between 8 and 10,000, something like that. Your average attendance. They're two-time champs. Of course, people should show up. But if Caitlin Clark comes into town and you got to move to another arena just to accommodate the people, okay, let's just go with it. Who cares? Who cares why they're here? They're still gonna see Asia Wilson. Matter of fact, 3, 4, 5,000 people more are gonna see Asia Wilson. So I hope we get into all of that. Like, if we're gonna get into the numbers and we're gonna talk about debt and we're gonna talk about investment, investors want to see. They don't want to see a slow trend. They don't want to see, oh, y'all had 7,000 last season and now y'all got 8,000 and the average ticket cost is $50 or $60 or whatever. They want to see that arrow go like this. If I come up to you, Hook, and I say, hey, I want $10,000, so you invest in this business, you're gonna want me to show you some numbers, right? Because that's $10,000. That's a lot of overtime.
Right. So we don't think
I hope we get into all that.
Products have anything to do with
What's
the
that?
popularity? So do we think that the products have anything
We don't think
to do
what
with
now?
Can y'all hear me? Yeah, the products. For instance, like Michael Jordan had the shoe, right? So demand and interest was created because he had endorsements, whereas there's been a lot of talk about how a lot of WNBA players don't have endorsements.
Well, you have to, and I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut anybody off. I wanted to get in and add on to my man subject. Nobody had a problem with LeBron James getting the biggest endorsement deal before he even dribbled a basketball. He absolutely was not the best player in the NBA. And we didn't have a problem with it because he was black. And you didn't have a problem with Larry Bird being promoted by the NBA. I agree with my guy there. Like, it's too much black and white. So what? She's not going, Caitlin Clark is not going to be relatable to the young black girl. The young black girl is still playing basketball. Doesn't Caitlin Clark play basketball? Isn't that good for the WNBA? Because as soon as Caitlin signed that Nike deal, it was real funny how Asia got her deal publicly promoted out there right behind it. And everybody, Monica McNutt, the analyst for ESPN, Daryl, we talked about this earlier. When she went at Stephen A., I'm on YouTube all the time. I've seen Monica McNutt on 2 shows on ESPN, First Take and Get Up. She has been on every sports show this week explaining that situation. I even seen her on a State Farm commercial. So I don't want to hear or nothing about, well, we shouldn't be putting this money into Caitlin Clark. The hell we shouldn't. Why we shouldn't? She is a woman who is driving the sport. If she never becomes a great player, guess what's going to happen? Everybody knows that Asia Wilson's the best player in basketball. Period. Nobody denies that. Everybody knows Breonna Stewart is great. Everybody knows the girl from the sky is great. I know who the girl from the sun is because I'm locked in because of what I saw in college from Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and the USC women. It's good for the league. Yeah. The best players are not always going to be the most marketable. Tim Duncan was the best player in the NBA for about 5 years, and nobody will say that. Not one person will say he was the best player in the league. You know why? Because Kobe was more marketable. Because LeBron is more marketable. It looks better. That's their job as a company to sell what people are going to buy. Nobody is going, and no offense to Brittany Griner, nobody is going to buy that shoe. She wasn't marketable at the time.
Amen.
She won a championship. Guess what? You become marketable even if you're not. You either have to win or be marketable. It's no different between NBA, NFL, none of that. None of it.
I'm going to say this. I'm actually... Oh, go ahead.
And about the shoe, someone asked about the product. It's we have to look at. Fortunately, during COVID, they put out that documentary Last Dance, so we got to see we got to see how that shoe came to be. So what happened was Nike was looking to cross over into athletics, and then they found this guy who could jump out of the gym and who was captivating audiences, and then they came up with the term Air. He didn't even want to go. He didn't even want to go there initially. So sometimes there has to be a confluence of things that come together. And we know this because of the internet. We know everybody here and everybody watching knows about that guy who was driving. And he was doing a virtual court hearing about his suspended license. It went viral. Just those things came together at one time. So just because you give, like, Sabrina Ionescu has a shoe, and she's an excellent shooter. She had a head-to-head shootout with Stephen Curry and almost won. She almost beat Stephen Curry in a three-point shootout, but it didn't catch. Sometimes it doesn't catch. But when Caitlin Clark shoots from the logo, something clicked. And sometimes there's the timing, there's the moment, there's what people are looking for, and sometimes there's just that little it factor. There's just that little.
I can tell you. Them white people been waiting on her forever. Them white people was glad to market her. Them white people was glad to market her. They were glad to push her forward. They wanted some white. They wanted the white girl to come through and get all the shine. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Bam came through and keep the door open.
This much shine as she does.
Hey, Bam came through and keep the door open. But to Bam's point, I have a theory. My theory is, all right, so before, I didn't know who Caitlin Clark was until they beat South Carolina in the national semifinals a couple years ago. Now, even when I saw her play, I didn't call her Caitlin Clark. I called her White Steph Curry. I didn't know her name. I just knew she can shoot. I knew she can shoot, and she took down the best. She took down the best team in the nation right now. Now, without now.
Hold on, wait 1 second, Hook.
Go ahead.
Please put some respect on Steph Curry's name. Steph Curry play defense. Caitlin Clark.
No. Well, we not about to do that.
Curry don't play no defense.
I said Caitlin Clark don't play no defense.
Curry don't play no defense.
He might play defense now, but when they lost 3-1 to the Cavs, they absolutely targeted Steph Curry because he can't play defense.
We're talking about Stephen Curry right now as it stands. Let's be fair. He plays defense. Do not do that.
When I say White Steph Curry, right? When I say White Steph Curry, I use that term loosely. I'm not saying she's Steph Curry. I'm just saying she was shooting from the logo like Steph Curry. So that's why I refer to her that way. Now, what endeared white America to Caitlin Clark was when LSU beat them in the national title game, and Angel Reese went over and did this in her face and showed her the ring, because at that point they felt sorry for her. They felt bad. It was like, oh, how is this big bully threatening this little lily white girl and all this other shit, right? So now they rallied behind her. So after that, that's when they rallied behind Caitlin Clark. So when we say, we understand that Caitlin Clark is driving the numbers, And like David and the rest of you alluded to earlier, she's driving that number because white people are the majority in this country. So yeah, and all of us are basketball fans here, right? How many NBA games have we gone to?
Yes.
Plenty.
I'm talking about collectively. You may have gone to plenty. I ain't never been to an NBA game in my life.
But I can also say I've gone to plenty of WNBA games too.
Right. But my point is,
girl, come pick me up.
Like David said earlier, when you're watching a basketball game, who do you see in the stands? You might see a few speckles of black people, but white people buy tickets and they go to the game. So obviously they're going to rally behind Caitlin Clark. So that's why those numbers are where they are. Now, when I say that Angel Reese deserves that much credit, it's because that moment that built the rivalry, that endeared the fans to Caitlin Clark, and now you see where that actually got together. So now we're here. Now they're in the WNBA, and that fandom has followed Caitlin Clark to the pros.
I got the problem. The WNBA ain't got no groupies. The WNBA ain't got
no. But listen, it's like this.
The groupies for the WNBA coming for sure.
Listen, it's like this. It's like this. Women outnumber men, right? Do they not?
Absolutely.
Women outnumber men, right? So it's just this simple. If women go out and watch the games as much as the men do, they wouldn't have no problem with the numbers. Their numbers will be up there with the NBA niggas. If the women went out and support them, just like y'all watch Love and Hip Hop and Housewives of Atlanta and all that bullshit, y'all can watch the fucking WNBA and that'll change everything about the popularity.
We don't watch that. I'm telling you what women to be around.
Let me be clear when I say this. And let me be very clear when I say this. You can put that on women all day long. You really can. Because like you said, it's more of us than it is y'all, as you like to say. How many women do you know watch basketball in general?
They watch it with their boyfriends or husbands.
You can't name 10 women solidly who can tell you about the sport of basketball.
I bet you I can. You want to tell you why? Because a lot of them got into sports because they're sports moms. They watch their sons play basketball and football, and then they learn the game, and that's when the women watch more football and basketball. There's some women that I know that watch football and basketball because of their kids and impact that they have on their lives. What I'm saying is this: the men, the reason why the sports are getting paid more because we watch attend the games. We watch basketball games, we watch football games. The women, if y'all just tune into the TV and get the ratings up, the women will start getting way more money than the men. If y'all women will support them like we support our men. But the thing is, y'all are just not that excited.
On the ratings portion, it's just the point of like women disproportionately do not watch sports the same way men do. You can't say that they do because they do not. And just because
don't complain about the pay. You can't complain about the pay.
Yes, we can.
But just because you're a sports mom does not mean that you. First of all, let me be very clear. Yes, you can complain about the pay. Let me explain to you from a business aspect why. The NBA owns half of this league. $15 million is a drop in the bucket for the NBA, as far as I'm concerned with marketing. Secondly, let's be quite clear as well. When we talk about equity in sports, and we talk about equity in wage pay, we're talking about getting a percentage of the ticket sales that the NBA players also get. The WNBA does not offer that to their players. They do not get a percentage of ticket sales, nor do they get jersey sales either.
Because they got to give away their tickets. They don't sell tickets.
Hook, you just got an Angel Reese jersey. Angel Reese didn't get a dime from that. Do you understand? So my whole thing is when we talk about equity and pay range, it's not, we have an understanding that we don't have the same ratings.
You can just watch them on TV. You don't have to be in the stands.
We have an understanding that we don't have the same rating or the same viewership. The issue is that we don't have the same equitable time and percentage.
Y'all women need to support each other. Y'all need to just go to a game and do the stuff, and y'all will get more money.
I just stated to you that women do not watch sports at a We do not watch sports at a disproportionately the same rate that men do. I can sit here and tell you how I got into sports, and it was not through women. It was through the men in my life. It was not through women. I am probably one of the most educated sports people in my family, and I am a female. And I will sit here and talk and dog a man out all day long when it comes to sports, period, point, and the blank, because you're not going to hit me with facts that I don't already know.
Well, please dog
So when we're talking about women being we need to be more supportive. There are a lot of women who are supportive, who understand that we are disproportionately represented in viewership when it comes to sporting events. So you cannot sit here and say that if more women jumped in, you would have the support. But at the same time, I can't tell a female who ain't never watched and don't understand the game to sit down and watch a WNBA game. I can't tell her that unless she's thoroughly interested in it. So when we
I have a question for you.
Like that, it's irrelevant to the point of if we had male support, we would have the viewership.
Y'all are not that exciting to watch.
Are you kidding me?
Y'all are not that exciting to watch. Y'all can't dunk like that. Y'all don't throw no alleys like that. Y'all are, cause it's like it's not exciting though. It's like you watching the NBA and now it's like you watching kind of like a high school game. It's a different thing.
I enjoy games. Like you
enjoy the sport of it, but as far as the exciting part of it, it's not that exciting. You're not gonna go to watch a girl game and get the same level of excitement.
I disagree because, like I was telling them, like last night, I was toggling between watching the Chicago Sky play and the NBA Finals, and I found myself more interested in the Chicago Sky playing. One of the main reasons, and I posted that earlier.
Because you got a podcast coming up.
No, they ain't got nothing to do with it. They have nothing to do with it.
I don't think I didn't do it.
But like in the W, they play defense. They don't play defense in the NBA, bro. They don't do that. Like it's who can score the most, obviously, and it's a different brand of basketball. Now, Marcus, I know you were about to say something earlier. What was it?
Oh man, yeah. Listen, Bam threw me all the way off, man. I forgot every damn thing I was gonna say, man.
I'm sorry, my bad.
It's not just me. He throws off.
Yeah, I what's happening, bro? Nice to meet you.
My ass for a little too.
I would agree with this. What Bam says. Yes, women do need to support the sport more, but I will say this: the NBA is not popular just because men like it. You know what I mean? Like. Women like it too. Whether you're at the game to go find you a basketball player or whether you're at the game just hanging with your girls, it's something popular to do. So it can't just be one-sided. Well, if all the women support it, it'll be cool. That is very factual and very true. I'm sorry, that is. But
two things can be true, but that doesn't
mean can be true. You know what I mean? But I do think it's on us as a collective. That's why I don't like the color narrative with Caitlin Clark. I don't give a damn that she got all them white men following her and cheering for her. Because guess who? You know what? Right now, tomorrow night, look at the front row of the Dallas and Boston Celtics game and tell me who you see sitting in the front row. At a finals game, they probably paying close to $80,000, $90,000 a ticket. Those people are probably assholes. They probably are. But you know what they do? They help the players get bigger checks. They help the owners be able to pay bigger checks. The WNBA is growing to that point right now, and there's going to be a lot of complaining. It's been a lot of and Daryl, I can't stand because he boosts Angel Reese up so bad on some troll shit all the time, and I love her to death. I do. I'm a big supporter of Angel Reese. You know what I'm not a supporter of? You asking for something that you're not ready for. You keep asking for this villain role, and I promise you, baby, you're not ready for that because you know what? When you lost in the national championship game, I remember the words that came out of your mouth. Me and Caitlin Clark are cool. I don't have no problem. You broke down because mentally it was so much put on that young girl in college, having all that attention. And what do? Instead of learning from that, you jump straight to the WNBA and say, it's not just because of her, it's because of me too. Baby, we know you here. Don't put the target on your back because now you have a broader audience of people who have money and can say whatever they want to you to piss you off and take you to a different degree. And this is where the race card plays in. When she reacts off of something that she probably should react off of, they're gonna smoke her. Okay, they're gonna tear her down. Caitlin Clark can go somebody right now in the game tonight, and it won't be shit wrong with it. That
Actually,
this is what it is.
I disagree because Caitlin Clark just had that situation occur where a reporter just asked her, "Your name is being used. Your name is being used in culture and race wars. How do you feel about that?" And she made a statement, and she made a statement that basically was like, "I don't see it, so I'm focused on playing basketball."
Is that not what a basketball player should say?
No, it is not. Absolutely not. Not in the league.
That's why I disagree. That's why I disagree because you want her to be a cultural icon. For what? Her job is to
what I'm getting ready
basketball.
to say. This is not a Michael Jordan situation here. This is a Caitlin Clark situation. As a young white woman, you literally have a platform to tell your people to stop being bigots, to stop being misogynist, to stop being xenophobic towards these players, to stop being homophobic to these other players that you are attempting to gain respect from. And yet you have not come out and directly said anything. However,
that's not a problem. She's not going to do it.
However, she has come back out after another reporter came back and asked her, "How do you feel about your name being used and racism and racist tweets and things like that?" And she's like, "Well, I don't condone it." She finally comes out and says, "I don't condone it." The reason why people don't have an issue with people like Paige Bruckers, people like your Sabrina Ionescu, or even Elisa Pillis is because when it comes down to things like this, they nip it in the bud. And let's be very clear. Yes, I know Magic and Larry basically went off of the whole black and white thing. They did that in college. They did it in the NBA. That's how they capitalized. Let's be quite clear. However, this is not the same league as the NBA at that particular point. And yes, black and white does sell, but let's be quite clear. The WNBA has been very vocal on socioeconomic issues, and you are coming into a league that you are trying to be the face of, and yet you have not said anything on any socioeconomic issues. Your name has been put behind, and if you really care about your brand the way you say you do, you should come out and tell your fans, "I don't condone you coming at these people like you're coming at them. This is not something that I condone, and it's not something that
that's not
I want to be privy to. Don't use my name."
Did she chose that role? Did she chose that role, or did they give it to her?
At the same time,
they gave it to her.
This is what you were given in a time of social media. This is what you are given in a time of social media. Because the same way we treat Angel Reese in the media, we do not treat Caitlin Clark. You're absolutely right.
No, listen, I root for the black. You know that. Fuck the crackers. I root for the black. I root for the black. And I don't give a damn at every occasion. If it's a black or white, I'm rolling with Angel Reese. I'm rolling with Juju Watkins. I'm rolling with them motherfuckers. Fuck them.
Hold on. I got a question for you. Because you made a great point about it's her responsibility, right? And see, this is what I'm talking about. Like the WNBA has to grow up with the NBA. I haven't heard one word about you saying, and we're not talking about that, but did you see? I'll ask that. Did you see the Boston fans calling Kyrie Irving a racial slur, even though most of their team
Boston are the worst fans?
So why did Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Hold on. Why did Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who is very outspoken, super intelligent, come out and say, "I don't condone that"?
Let's be very clear. Let's be quite clear. Okay.
I thought I was being pretty clear on that.
No. Let's be clear. You're absolutely right. Should they have probably said something? Yeah. Have they said something before? Yes, they have. So why are we? I mean, we can bring it back up. Yes, they don't condone it. We know they don't condone it because they wore Black Lives Matters.
You mean the whole NBA wore Black Lives Matter?
No, they did. But let's be quite clear. Jaylen Brown has put his money where his mouth is. Absolutely. He always does. Let's be clear. I'm no Boston Celtics fan, but my best friend is a Boston Celtics fan to the core. And I will tell you straight up, even in having these conversations, Boston Celtics fans are like that. And I'm not saying that
they're the worst.
I'm not saying they're supposed to be by a long shot. But what I'm saying is that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are black men. Yeah, you can come out and say something. That's not their responsibility. To be fair, to be quite fair, it should be a white player that should say something. You got Kristaps.
Agreed. And all I'm saying is
white players on this team. You got Pritchard on this team. You got other white players on this team. Black people saying anything about racism seems like we're being crybabies. Let's be quite clear.
I don't.
let's be real. It always about racism. Because
What is
if
always?
Caitlin Clark was a black,
Always.
if Caitlin Clark was a black girl, she would not be
Nobody
getting
would have a
that much
problem.
shine. She wouldn't have got that much shine, and you know that.
Actually, if she did win the scoring record, she still would have gotten that much shine. However,
No.
However, I believe
They've been had players who accomplished way more than what she did, and they still ain't got that shine in her.
Correct. Lynette Woodard. You're absolutely right. Lynette Woodard, whose record, by the way, she said.
Name another one because that's the only record she didn't beat.
Old girl from Tennessee that do commentating now. She was
Absolutely
a beat.
not. She broke
Maya. What about Maya Moore? No, matter of fact, what about the whole the UConn? What's the UConn coach name? What's the UConn coach?
The person you just said.
What's the UConn coach name?
Oriema.
Oh, okay. He had me watching a little bit of basketball when they was winning. He should have been the one that pushed it forward. You know what I'm saying? In reality, but when that white girl come through, that white hope that didn't make it, that didn't win a championship, and still got all that fucking shine, I don't get it.
So the reason why I feel like the WNBA, it's rising popularity.
She ain't even won shit.
When we talk about rising popularity for the WNBA, I'm not gonna lie. I do feel like, and I'm hitting on a point that Shannon made earlier. University of South Carolina, Dawn Staley, people were tuning in for their team, for that team. I'm not being biased because I'm a Gamecock. However, I have an understanding that ratings obviously went up because of the UConn rivalry, because of the LSU rivalry. That's when those ratings started increasing. South Carolina's only lost 3 games in the past 4 seasons, if you really look at their records. So it's like one of those things where it's like, if we really looking at this, the way that we're looking at this all started from University of South Carolina in the most recent years, and it has gone over to
why Asia Wilson? Why Asia Wilson ain't got that same shine? Why Asia Wilson ain't got that same shine?
We have a black majority black team.
Hold on, it's 3 people talking at the same time. Hold on. Who is this?
I say, why didn't Asia Wilson get that same shine? She got a statue in front of South Carolina.
Asia Wilson did get the same shine, and actually, to be fair, hold on, Asia Wilson.
She's not getting attention. She's not getting attention. Clayton Clark is getting, and Clayton Clark ain't one shit.
But you have to understand, she's not going to. She's not going to, and the simple reason is because of the fact that, like you said, it's quote unquote they're going with Caitlin Clark at this particular point. And do I believe that she deserves more shine? Of course. But even when we talk about this Nike deal that she got, Asia has been working on this shoe and this line for the past few years. It ain't been like she didn't get a signature shoe type thing. It was people were making it a point that she should put out a signature shoe. She already had the Nike deal. She's had the Nike deal for some time, and they were working on a signature shoe for her. They just had not come out with anything yet in reference to a design. And it just so happens that when they get and finalize her prototype and they finalize her shoe, that it just so happens it's the same year that Caitlin Clark is coming out of school and she gets the Nike deal. So that's why people have such an issue with this. And it's not that Asia doesn't get the shine that she deserves. Asia is getting the shine that she deserves. And I feel like she was getting it before. She's a 2-time MVP. She's a 2-time MVP, a 2-time WNBA champion. Like, what do you mean?
But she don't get the shine Caitlin Clark got. You can ask people who Asia Wilson is. You can ask people who Asia Wilson is. They're not going. You got a few people who gonna know. A lot of people ain't gonna know. You ask who Caitlin Clark is, they gonna know off the fucking bat.
I'm sorry,
Asia ain't got that shine.
I don't know anybody who doesn't know who Asia Wilson is.
Asia, a lot of people don't know. They say they went around and asked people right there in Vegas who was Asia Wilson, and motherfuckers ain't know.
There are a lot of white people who won't know who Asia Wilson is. I guarantee you, the black people know who Asia Wilson is. But we already said earlier, white people are the majority. So obviously, you know what I'm saying, that's why Caitlin Clark has so much, support behind her. But there is one last question I did want to ask y'all. I wanted to get into it earlier, but we didn't really have a chance. But there's been when Kennedy Carter filed Caitlin Clark, right? Had that hard file against her. They led the sports shows with it. That was like, up top, oh my God. But Angel Reese had an even worse foul the week before, but what Alyssa Thomas did, that didn't get nearly enough pub. But those are two rookies who had situations with a couple vets, right? So do y'all think that the vets are intentionally targeting the rookies, or do y'all think that the rookies are being unfairly treated? Like, what are y'all thoughts on that? And David, do be quiet for a little while. We'll start with you.
Do I think they're being? What were the two options you gave me?
Do you think they're being unfairly targeted, or do you think that they're being treated unfairly?
I think it's a confluence of things. I think part of it is just how people treat rookies. They haze them when they come into the league. Which, by the way, I thought that foul by Alyssa Thomas when she choke slammed Angel Reese, I thought that was completely unnecessary. I mean, you don't have to do that. I mean, you could have really injured that woman. Then we would have lost out on a lot of promotion and a lot of growth. I thought that was a good thing to do. But she did get thrown out of the game, whereas Trinity Carter did not get thrown out of the game. But I think part of it is just rookies being hazed, because that's what you do with rookies. But I think a part of it also is a little bit of jealousy, because you have women that have been playing professional basketball for 3, 4, 5, 6 years for a little pay, and then you have these young people who aren't as good, getting all this attention and money. And I think that happens in any sport. I think that happens if you work at a job and some new person comes behind you that you trained and they make $5 an hour more than you, you're going to be pissed. So I think that's normal. But I think what they're missing is that I think they ought to treat these people like you treat stars, because these women right now, we're in a shift. These new women are the ones that are going to bring us to the next level. For those of us who are interested in the WNBA growing, so I think it's a mixture of things. I think if I was the commissioner of WNBA, I would say, listen, I'm gonna call it a little tight with these people. Okay, it's just like Mike. There's a clip of Michael Jordan telling the ref that another player traveled. We know how it goes. Stars get star treatment. Caitlin Clark is obviously a superstar. Angel Reese is a superstar. The new class, these are stars. So they're going to get the star treatment because we're trying to sell tickets. So you choke slamming them or cheap shotting them and risking rolling an ankle or kicking them out, that's not going to fly during this season. Y'all go back to bully ball in 3 years when we put some more butts in this. Right now, leave the Bayou Barbie, the Chi-Town Barbie alone. You choke slam her again, I'm kicking you out for 3 games.
Marcus, Sakura, what about y'all?
Oh, you go ahead, Sakura. You can go ahead.
There's a part of this that I disagree with. And the part is do I believe these women are jealous? No. And the reason why I'm saying this is simply because of the fact that, like, I do agree with your explanation of, like, how do you have somebody come in and they're making more than you, or they're getting X, Y, and Z. I think what is really irritable is how the WNBA as a league has handled the rollout of this rookie class. And what I mean by that is, you knew Caitlin was coming, and you knew that there was a possibility or a probability that she was going to need additional accommodations. And with that being stated, you know, Indiana automatically got charter flights. And the New York Liberty, when they played the New York Liberty, after the New York Liberty had just beat them, and Caitlin Clark only scored 8 points in that game, they had to drive back 8 hours to New York on a bus. Would you not be pissed? Would you not be mad? Would you not be upset? Because you've been asking for travel accommodations for the past 5 years.
Is that a question?
You've been asking for wage equity for the past 5 years, and you ain't got it yet. But yet a rookie comes into the league and you think she's going to change the trajectory of the league, and you provide her with all of the accommodations that you asked for. Simple accommodations. I would be pissed too. However, I also feel like, as a rookie, you got to earn your stripes, baby. As a former basketball player, I ain't getting nothing handed to me when I played. I had to fight. You played? I had to fight my teammate for my position. You said, what year did I play?
What year and what school you came from?
First of all, I came from Lexington, and second of all, that ain't none of your business because I'm gonna tell my age.
No, cause my sister was one of the top basketball players come out of South Carolina. You know.
Oh, good for her. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Represent Lexington, girl. Represent.
I just want to know if you played against her. That's all.
I probably didn't. But the point is, you know, I knew that I had to fight people for my position. And in order for me to gain the respect of the veterans that were playing on varsity or JV or whatever team I was trying out for, I had to fight to get that position and to get that respect as a leader. My issue with when we talk about these rookies, Cameron Brink, Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, Alyssa Pilley, Rakia Jackson, they're all getting pummeled. They're all getting pummeled. But it's because if you ain't been watching the WNBA, you would not know that that's the physicality of the league. You wouldn't know that if you don't watch. You say we don't need to dunk to play great basketball. That's the problem now with the NBA is that y'all be playing the way they play is soft. No, they don't play. They do not play. Listen.
They ain't catching nothing off the rim. They ain't alley-ooping.
We don't care. We don't care. And you want to know why? Because the players that's steadily alley-ooping and dunking and are the ones that's getting hurt the most. And then y'all be complaining, oh, this person on load management, this person X, Y, and Z. Well, guess what? The reason why they are is because they're putting all this extra excruciating like exertion on their body by dunking and by alley-ooping the damn ball. Let's be
because
clear.
They can naturally do it. Because they can naturally do it. They gonna do it. If you can dunk, you're not gonna dunk a hook.
But we are women.
They can, you fault them for their natural ability. Are you serious?
First of all, what's alley?
If I can get it off the rim and dunk in your face, I can make all the noise. Ah!
Shannon,
the alley-oop is when they throw the ball to the rim and the person catches it.
No, Shannon, really? No, seriously. That was a real question.
Hell yeah.
It was a real question. Leave my girl alone. Leave her alone. It was a real question.
Hey, Marcus, go ahead, bro. Because Shannon just, oh my God.
Listen,
okay.
I ain't I want to know. I'm going to ask you. I ain't shame. I want to know. I asked.
Okay. To answer the question, I do think they are targeting the rookies, not in a bad way like the Saints targeted Brett Favre, but I think they target him in a way that you would target any other rookie. I will say I agree that the WNBA is physical, and I'll give y'all a little preview, front office podcast just to help you out here. That's going to change in the next year or two. I promise you, the physicality that I watch these games, and I'm not soft by no means. And I'm sitting there like, is the referee blind? What the hell is going on down here? There's to allude to what David said, the way that girl slammed Angel Reese to the floor, and the reason why it wasn't made a big deal is because Angel Reese, credit to her, killed it in the post-game interview. She said, no, that's what they do. She didn't make a big deal about it. Caitlin didn't answer the question, but I promise you, had she broke her collarbone, she would have had a different response. Mm-hmm. If she would have been not able to play, it wouldn't have been, I'm so grateful. But I don't think it's jealousy. I think that's just, I played basketball. And when I was a senior and we got a sophomore or freshman coming into practice and they talking about he going to make varsity, no, I'm going to kick your ass every day to let you know that you're not supposed to be here, bro. You're not taking my spot. And if you're going to get a spot, you're going to earn it. That's what Caitlin M is getting. To Caitlin's credit, I haven't heard her complain. She's saying, yeah, I'm getting beat up because she's not used to physicality. It's not like that in college. They don't let them girls play like that in college. They don't. Watch the college game. That's the difference between the NBA and the WNBA. The college men's basketball game mirrors the NBA. Physicality-wise, it's a mirror. And you know what? It did used to be physical. I know she said it was soft. Mm-hmm. But nobody wants to see prison basketball. Nobody wants to watch that. That's not a sellable product. It's not interesting. And it hides talent. And you know what happens? You get players that are making millions and millions of dollars and they don't have a skill set. The only thing they're out there to do is beat up other players. Yes. That's the only thing they're out there to do.
Yes.
You like
that's
what?
Not attractive.
I used to watch that now. I like that.
Can I just say
see, look at that. That's
No,
you like
she's
football.
absolutely
Shannon,
right
say
though.
football.
No, she's absolutely right though. The thing is,
But
you
I'm
watch
just saying,
football.
like, they're gonna change that. They're gonna change it, and it's not gonna be just for Caitlin. It's gonna be for the Juju Watkins who are coming in. You're not gonna be able to bully Juju Watkins. I don't know if y'all have ever watched her play. Let me tell you something. That Rookie Hazen shit is out the window when she hits the WNBA. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, that girl, I don't care how physical that league is, she can play in that league right now. Right now.
Now, Juju
Right,
can.
the white girl from UConn, Paige. Oh no, she's a lot tougher than Caitlin. Y'all don't want no parts of that.
Listen,
no parts of that.
For the fact that Gino Auriemma basically, I like to say he dug Caitlin Clark a new one on that interview he did recently. Let's be clear, that was the coach Gino Auriemma talking. That was not the person, that was the coach. And to be fair, he's absolutely right with everything that he said. He's absolutely right. She's going to have a hard time if she can't adjust her game. She's going to have a difficult time playing against a Juju Watson, a Malaysia Fowali, a Paige Brookers. She's going to have a very, very difficult time playing against these girls in the league because and we talking about this Olympic team and her not being on that roster. Let's be clear. That's who she got to go against to get that spot on that Olympic roster in 2028. And it ain't going to be easy. She's going to make it. Let's be clear, but she ain't going to start. If she don't adjust, she won't start.
Look, let me tell you something. Luka Doncic is the slowest, most unathletic person I've ever seen in my life. And just last week, before the final started, and Daryl can agree, they was calling this man the face of the NBA. Were they or were they not?
They were.
Okay. To play basketball, and you play basketball, I don't want to hear nothing about athletic and fast and all that other crap. I don't want to hear nothing about that because when you learn how to play with pace and you're fundamentally sound and you have Nike behind, do you really think Nike is going to invest $28 and not
he also damn near 7 foot tall. He wouldn't be that same player at 6 foot. His height and everything has a lot to do with that too. Now, come on.
Do you really believe that
WNBA and the NBA are two totally different games?
Yeah,
they are. They are. But
they
the WNBA right now is in the phase that the NBA was in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's in that phase now.
They got to make up for the excitement.
But at the same time, the excitement is there. That's why there are.
That's why they play so much defense and foul and shit. They got to make up for the excitement.
You still ain't watching, Bam. You still talking shit.
But no, I do watch. I do catch a couple games. If the game on, I watch them.
I want you to sit down. I want you to get there. Since you're talking about we need to invest more, we need to do blah, blah, blah. Why don't you go pay for that WNBA league pass that you probably ain't got? Go ahead and pay for it. I want
to be an interviewer and come in the locker room and catch them while they about to get in the shower.
Oh my God.
There you go. There you go.
Don't say that.
I was really just about to compliment him. I'm like, you know what, Bam ain't saying nothing out the way this whole podcast. Here you go. So that's my fault. Nah, but this is
had hope, huh?
I did, and we were so close, right? Nah, but this has been a great conversation. I certainly appreciate everybody's feedback. But before we head out, right, like, because we talked about the future of the WNBA. So from everybody who's familiar with the sport that's on the panel, like, who do y'all think got next? You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of collegiate players, like, who do you see the next 3 to 4 years? Who's going to be absolute dog?
Malaysia Fowali.
I think the face that you'll see them push is Juju and Paige.
Juju, right?
Malaysia, unfortunately, because they won, they already gonna have that tag on them, and she has to continue to win. You know what I mean? And I'm not sure if she's gonna start. From what Dawn said, they still trying to maybe pull her off the bench, which is crazy.
But she does go off the bench though. She does.
Yeah, she does her. She's a star. She has her game. I'm not saying she's not a star. I think what you'll see is Juju, and I think you'll see Paige. I think you'll see a lot of that. But they got some girls in high school. Let me tell you something. These girls is catching alley-oops, Shannon, and dunking.
In the warm-ups.
Yeah, it's a girl that went to AC Florida last year. And let me tell you something. I ain't never seen a girl that good before in my life. And I done seen some great women basketball. But that girl could play. I forget where she going to college at, but it's just here in Columbia, South Carolina. It's all over. Like, it's called evolution. Like, society can accept, like, to Bam point, society is ready to accept watching a brand of basketball where it's not dunking every play. We just at that point. You know what I mean? Like things that weren't acceptable maybe when we all were in high school or something like that, they're acceptable now. My kids go to high school right now. I see shit every day when I drop them off. Like, ain't no damn way that y'all letting me slide. But it's acceptable because the society has grown into that. You know what I mean? Like, even with the WNBA, the women are dating each other and nobody's making a big deal about it because it's not. It's just like, it's acceptable. It's something that
we knew that.
It wasn't always out there like that, but now
you knew they was fucking each other.
I mean, we knew
you
that.
knew they was fucking each other. Stop.
The men?
Stop.
No, women, Shannon, women.
The men dating each other?
We knew the women was fucking each other. Come on, man.
Are a thing again, but they
Them
also
men
were
dating each other too, though. I'm sure of it.
Nah, I don't disagree with Shannon. It's probably
not at that rate. Not at that rate.
Like,
oh, yeah, they are. They at them Diddy parties.
We refuse to believe that.
You can refuse to believe it.
We refuse to believe it. We don't.
Yeah, I'm not buying until I see the tape.
I don't hear y'all.
Can I just make one last point here?
Go ahead.
When it does come to this game and we talk about its rise in popularity, it's not going to just take women. It's going to take men as well. But it's also going to take men who have an understanding of what the WNBA was and what it can be, not the narrative that like Stephen A. Smith has been putting out of these women being jealous, these women not understanding marketability and brand recognition, all of this, that, and the third. I believe they have an understanding. A lot of these women, number one, are college graduates, and some of them have gone on and gotten their masters, and some of them are extremely business savvy, because you have to be when you play in a league that only gives you $70,000 a year. You have to be very business savvy. You have to figure out a way to make a way for yourself, right? But I want people to also understand that when it comes down to this, it's not women that are going to push the brand of the WNBA. It's going to be the men. Because as I stated, at a disproportionate rate, men watch sports, men buy into sports, and men keep sports going. If you cannot sit down and watch a WNBA game, it's simply because of the fact that you don't want to. It's not because it's not interesting. It's because you just don't want to. You haven't bought into it yet. And that's okay. But for all the new Caitlin Clark fans, thank you for buying into the brand. Come for the drama, but stay for the game.
I'm a Gamecock fan, so that's the only reason why I'm really watching it, because of the Gamecock girls. You know what I'm saying?
That's the reason.
That's fair.
That's the reason.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But come for the drama and stay for the game, though.
And I watch Asia. I watch Asia. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they kind of draw me to the game. But as far as like going off of the hype, I'm not watching the game because of Caitlin Clark. I don't want to see her.
Me either.
I don't want to
watch the game because the players are actually really bomb. They're fired.
Yeah.
I think.
No, they got some fine ones. They got some fine ones. I be watching them because of that. Now.
I think the women in WNBA analysts, I think they all have to be extremely careful. Like, I thought you made a good point. You were saying like Stephen A. Smith is painting a narrative. Well, guess what? He paints narrative to the NBA too. He paints narratives in the NFL. It's called creating a villain so you have a hero to be able to boost up. LeBron James was dubbed the next Michael Jordan. I already knew what they was going to do with it. You boost him up that high so when he doesn't accomplish it, you have something to talk about. And that's good for the WNBA. It's unfortunate that, like I said, I don't want Angel Reese. Stop tagging myself. Hey, I'll play the villain. No, just go do you. Because when you play that villain, you need to pay attention to the NBA. Like, it's guys who have real mental health problems. They can't deal with fans. The NBA don't care because those assholes sit front row and pay $90,000. They're going to let them say certain things. That's where this league is going. That's where the WNBA is going, and you need to be able to mentally be ready for that. All that, you looking for the credit, and listen, just go do your job, stand on business, talk about the stuff that you got to talk about, and move a certain way, because when you get that attention, be careful what you ask for.
It's coming.
Extremely careful what you ask for.
But I feel like Angel has done a really wonderful job media-wise media-wise and game-wise. Let's be clear, because homegirl, she made me eat my words. I didn't think her game was going to translate, but she made me eat my. She's a dog. But let's be clear, she went and she worked on her game, and you saw her.
But she's a dog, though.
But she is.
Player,
and she
a player who gonna hustle, get rebounds, gonna be down there and fight. They always on a championship team. She's a Draymond Green. She's a Kevin Garnett. Not Kevin Garnett, 'cause he can score, but she got that intensity and that, that's what I like about her. I knew she was gonna transition well in the NBA. Every team need that type of player to win a championship.
Agreed. Yeah, and let me get and Sakura and Marcus again. Thank you guys. So let me get y'all final thoughts. Like, what? Give me briefly to summarize what you want to leave the audience with. Give me your parting shots.
So, for me, this is a game that I've been watching since I was a little girl. It's a game I fell in love with. But like I said, I really do want y'all to come for. If you're coming for the drama, come for that. But I really want you to stay for the game, because there are really some amazingly talented people in this league that don't get the credit they deserve or nearly as much recognition as they deserve. And my whole thing is, at the end of the day, I want everyone in this league to be successful, because that's a direct reflection of women in this world. And a lot of young girls don't know about the game of the WNBA because it has not been as popular. So now that it is, now that we have social media, now that we have all these podcasts and people talking about it, I just want a narrative to be painted about them that is not about jealousy and it's not fueled on division, because that's not what the league is about. I want it to reflect young women coming from different aspects across the country who actually they just want a ball. They want a ball, but they want a ball and they want to get the same amount of recognition and credit that they deserve when they do. So all I can say is, I hope that you guys enjoy the game as much as I do, as much as I have, but also try to get some history on it.
Absolutely.
Some history and understand what it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Marcus, what together?
I definitely agree with Sakura. First of all, I had an amazing time. Bam, I don't know where they found you, brother, but you are a jewel and be protected at all costs. But no, I will say this, man. I got a daughter. She doesn't really enjoy basketball. I love basketball. She runs track. I would like for women and men in general to let the league be what it's going to be. Don't get so caught up in who is the one who's pushing the league. Be caught up in, like Sakura said, come for the drama, stay for the game. It's a lot of good. One of my favorite players, Dejanay Carrington, plays for the Connecticut Sun. I had no idea who she was until, what I mean? But she is an amazing basketball. DeWanna Bonner for Connecticut, amazing basketball player. You know what I mean? Like, really good. So you got to let it grow. You have to let it grow. You're going to have to deal with the false narratives, because there's false narratives about NBA and NFL players and even MLB players. Mm-hmm. When your sport grows to where everybody gets a piece of it, everybody who grabs a piece is not a good-hearted person. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not the way it's going to work out. But I hope it gets bigger. I've actually got something to talk about this summer because I'm watching the WNBA. You know what I mean? And people are very interested in it. So I think the league is in a very good place. I do. I think it's fine. I think Caitlin is fine being left off the USA team. They're going to win gold, whether they take me, Daryl, Bam, whoever. They're going to win gold regardless. You know what I mean? With that roster, so they don't have a problem with that. But I just don't, let's just not make it so much race. Let's just enjoy what's going on. I don't care if Caitlin Clark was white, purple, green, yellow. She can shoot the shit out the basketball, period. That's what I respect. Asia Wilson is a dog. Angel Reese, like Bam said, she is her intensity and physical, and she doesn't get enough credit for being a high basketball IQ player, which she is. She's very smart at how she goes about and does her business. But I think it's in a good place, man. I think it's a multitude of things that caused it to be popular. It's not just one person. It's just not Angel. It's just not Caitlin. It's just not Dawn. It's all of that stuff happening at the right time with society being where it is, and I'm here for it, man. I'm glad to see it.
Absolutely. All right, Shannon, let's get your Shannonism.
Well, I'm just glad y'all taught me what an alley hoop was, if I'm saying it right. I think it's great what's happening with the WNBA. Like I said, I wasn't one who even watched basketball. Football is my sport, and I'm excited. I'm exactly who they should be coming after to bring as a new viewer to the WNBA. So whatever they're doing, I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with all the hype on Caitlin Clark, but I understand it. I get it. Even with her being in the league, I'm still excited about what is happening with the WNBA, with the like Juju Watkins and all these women that are playing great ball that I get to watch play college ball and get even more excited to keep watching the WNBA. So all of it's exciting to me. All of it just has me ready to learn because I don't know the teams. I have no idea. I didn't know there was 12 teams, but I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years.
If anybody asks you, you're a Chicago Sky fan, all right?
Okay.
All right. All right, Bam, let's get to Bamism, brother.
Listen, man. The women really need to get on board. If you just got to cut the TV on and you ain't got to watch it, just have drinks and let the TV play. Support the fucking women in basketball. You know what I'm saying? The men, they're coming over a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? If they keep producing players like T. Cooper, I definitely going to tune in. Thank y'all for signing in.
All right, man. So check this out, right? And for my hookism, so and Marcus kind of alluded to it earlier, man. Like I used to always call it a summer break because I'm not a baseball fan at all, right? So the saddest time of the year for me was the last game of the NBA Finals, because after that we ain't got nothing left to watch until football season come up. You know what I'm saying? So from June to August, we got nothing. But now the WNBA is going to fill that gap for me. You know what I'm saying? And I know Ben was joking earlier about, the alley-oops and stuff, and all that's exciting. But I love the brand of basketball that WNBA plays. They play solid defense. It's not just all about the three. They get it down low to the bigs. They be down there banging. I love it, man. And obviously I've already chosen my team, Chicago Sky, obviously. But what I even players I didn't even know about. I didn't know about Kennedy Carter. I didn't know about Dejanay Carrington. These are people, and now I'm like, they're great. They're beasts. You know what I mean? They got, you know what I'm saying? So we talk about the 12-team Olympic team. Even before we even get to Caitlin Clark, we got a lot of other candidates that should be considered. But if they didn't make it, I mean, she need to have her ass on back in the United States with us. She ain't there yet. She ain't ready yet.
She Christian Laettner to the U.S. Dream Team.
Basically, yeah. And obviously, I think anybody knows my favorite player is Angel Reese. So I got a jersey. I've been, and I follow her even before the whole Caitlin Clark thing. When she did, I forget who they were playing, but she gave the little too small thing, and I was like, I like this girl's attitude. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like I've been following her when the whole Caitlin Clark thing happened. I loved it. When they lost to Caitlin Clark this year, I was crushed because I wanted them to beat Caitlin again. But it's really exciting for me. And I'll say this, like, I'm not a fan of Caitlin Clark. And it's not because she's white or whatever. It's because I'm just not a fan of her game. And I compare it to Steph Curry. Steph Curry is one of the greatest players in NBA history. But I've never tuned into a game to watch Steph Curry because I don't want to see somebody running around trying to get screens, getting open, shooting logo threes. That's not a very exciting brand of basketball for me. You know what I mean? So I like it when they bang down low. I like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see somebody shooting threes all day. So that's why Caitlin Clark's game is not that exciting to me. So but it's because of the style of plays that she has. But my fear is, and this is my number one fear, everybody who's jumped on the Caitlin Clark bandwagon, if she doesn't pan out, if she's not as good as they say she is, I don't want her to be a cause, because, the thing is with the cause, once that cause dies down, the people that are involved in the cause, they're going to go with it. So all those people that are watching the WNBA now because of Caitlin Clark, whether she succeeds, I hope she succeeds, because if she does, that's going to be great. But if she doesn't, or let's say she's lackluster, I want those fans to continue watching and see that Aja Wilson's a great player, to see that Alyssa Thomas can really ball, to see that Diana Taurasi, even at age 41, she's still killing it. You know what I mean? So, but I'm hoping that they can at least enjoy, and let's, and I know race is a big thing, but peel back the layers, take away the black, take away the white, take away the people's ethnic background, and just look at this as these are athletes. My daughter does competitive cheer. What I realized watching her do cheer, women are athletes, like cheerleaders that are there. Like I'm looking and I see, and she amazes to me. I see her every day. So when I see out there cheering and she tumbling and doing flips and stuff, and I'm like, this can't be the same girl that I see every day. You know what I'm saying? But it's exciting for me. I think it's an exciting time because we have to understand I know women are supposed to be feminine and ladylike and all this other stuff, but when they're in each other's faces and talking shit and clapping back, I love it, man. And I think I think the WNBA is in a good place, not just now, but also in the future, where you got Juju coming, you got Malaysia coming, you got Paige coming, you got Hidalgo coming, so you got a bunch of play. I think they're in a great place, and I think the WNBA has to capitalize on this moment because, as we know what causes, we don't want it to go away. I know I'm going to be here for the long haul, but we want the fans to stay, right? I think we all can agree. And the fact that we even having a whole podcast about the WNBA kind of tells us the place that we're in right now. I think the league's in good hands. I think we're in a good place, and I'm all for it, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the next few years.
She's Jimmy for that.
Oh Lord, I hope she ain't Jimmer, because Jimmer fanned out. Yeah, man.
Exactly. And that's what's gonna happen to her ass. I'm rooting for the black.
No, but this has been a great conversation, man. So Marcus, Sakura, David dropped off. I appreciate you guys. Don't be surprised if y'all get an invite to come back and talk about some more stuff, because we do this every other week. No, we trust me, we're never talking about them. Listen, we got better things to talk about.
Listen. You an Eagles fan and you a Gamecock fan, but I still kind of don't like you.
And he fans both.
I'm an Eagles fan and I'm a Gamecock. You know what I mean?
It's okay. You ain't gotta like me, but I know you love me. It's all good.
Don't say love. Don't do it, girl. Don't do it, girl. No.
Hey, Shannon, it's the first time. She don't know yet.
Don't do it, girl.
No, but this has been great, man. So again, thank you guys for joining. For the viewers, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys in a couple weeks. So until then, take care.
All right.
Peace.